Hello everybody, I'm back, Elisa Rogers with Simply Southern Recipes by Rocket City Girls. I'm fixing to make some cheesy hoe cakes to go with a cheesy sausage and potato baked casserole and some fried cabbage. So this is how we get started. I've got 3 cups of self-rising cornmeal in this bowl already. I'm going to add 14.75 ounces of cream-styled corn, whatever brand you like best. You add that to your self-rising flour. Next is an egg, 1 egg, 1/4 of a cup of vegetable oil. That's all you need. A cup of sharp cheddar cheese, grated. Let's stir this just a little bit. It's going to be really dry. And then we will add what my granny calls sweet milk. We decided not to do buttermilk today. That's a whole cup of some sweet milk. Stir until it is completely mixed, everything incorporated, and it starts getting kind of thick. You don't want it runny, you want it like a pancake batter, because you're going to fry these in some hot grease. Best things you ever put in your mouth. Okay, that's ready for frying. Okay everybody, here we go. I've got a little ladle. Throw it in there like that. I'll just do one for right now so you can see what I'm talking about. And like I said, you want it to cook like a pancake. It starts bubbling in the middle and the edges start getting like a golden brown. It's time to flip it. Now, they're not going to be beautiful by any means, but they're the best things you ever put in your mouth. See, you press on it, and it's still gooey in the middle. So you do not want to be taking that up right this second. The first one's always ugly like this. You got to get your temperature right. I just put mine down to a medium high instead of high because you don't want it cooking too fast. It'll burn and it'll still be gooey in the middle. And nobody likes a gooey hoe cake. Okay. And then putting it back up just a little bit. Right at 7. That's a good medium high right there. lay your hoe cake on some paper towel for drainage, and then start with the next one. Hey everybody, we're back. Now we're fixing to get ready to do our fried cabbage and onions. This is a phenomenal side dish, and very, very easy to do and budget friendly. We shredded some cabbage, long strips, same julienne, I would guess you would call it. Onions. We have also low sodium, a fourth of a cup, low sodium beef broth. We'll do a teaspoon of minced garlic, salt to taste because, you know, we're going low sodium, pepper, a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of pepper, red wine vinegar, and a pat of butter. Right at a tablespoon of butter. So let's get started. Okay, we've got just a little grease in the bottom of this pan, and we're going to add about a tablespoon of butter for that extra flavor. Now, I forgot to say it earlier, but as far as our cabbage and onions go, it's a small head of cabbage, probably about a fourth of it. And the same with the sweet yellow onion, about a fourth of a large sweet yellow onion. And I have combined them into this bowl, and I'm just going to add them now like this. You hear that sizzle? That's what you want. And you're going to fry this until it becomes, the onions and the cabbage start becoming a translucent kind of color. Kind of starts getting a little yellowish. Okay. Since we are using a low sodium beef broth, I am just going to use just, you know, a pinch of salt right now to help sweat down this cabbage. And here is my half a teaspoon of pepper. Just continue frying this for a little bit. Not big pieces in there. Just kind of cut them up with your spatula if you can. Personally, I don't like to bite into the great big pieces like that. The flavor's much better when you mix it all together. And they're all about the same size. Okay, we've been cooking this for about 5 minutes. And you see how it's starting to get golden brown? They're cooking down, getting translucent. Okay, here's our next step. We want a teaspoon of minced garlic. Stir this all together. This is really going to heighten the taste of this side dish. Now, of course, you can always, you know, double, triple this recipe, but we're only doing this much because it's just my husband and I. Red wine vinegar. I usually just shake a little all over it just to bring out some flavors. let it start to smell so good. Okay, the next step, our low sodium beef broth. We're just going to pour this all over. Continue stirring. And this is something that you want to cook, you know, that night before you eat. It's not something that would be really good left over because, you know, it loses a lot. It starts getting kind of mushy, you know. This is kind of the consistency of what you would find in a egg roll. That nice little crunch still left to it. And that is getting about to the point that we want. You want to try to sweat some of that liquid out that you just put in. But that's about it. That is fried cabbage and onions. Hey everybody, we're back. We're fixing to make our cheesy sausage potato bake. You need about 8 potatoes, this size. Good handful. What you're going to do is you're going to quarter those into bite-sized pieces. You need 14 ounces of your Polish kielbasa, cut, sliced into bite-sized pieces. We have here a pound of Velveeta. This is for our sauce, our cheesy sauce. You're going to cut this in half and then cube it. Little bite-sized pieces. It melts faster. Minced garlic, 1/4 of a sweet yellow onion sliced, julienned, a 1/2 of a green bell pepper, just cut little bite-sized pieces, a heaping tablespoon of self-rising flour, seasoned salt, and crushed red pepper. I'm going to get this all prepped and I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay everybody, we've got all our potatoes sliced up, diced up. Our onions, peppers ready. What we're going to do now is we're going to go and put these in a hot iron skillet and fry these potatoes up. And we're not going to add the onions and green peppers until they're almost ready because we don't want the green peppers and onions getting too cooked. They turn black and ugly, and I mean they taste good and everything, but the presentation, you want it to look like something you want to eat. So let's get started. Now your potatoes will be done when they're golden brown on each side. You don't want to flip them, stir them too much, let them set. Then, you know, use your spatula and move them around a little bit. But the longer they stay in that heated oil, the faster they're going to fry. And we'll be back with you in a minute. Hey everybody. Potatoes, they're getting nicely cooked. They're browning, not necessarily on all sides. It's pretty full pot, but it's time to add the onions and the green pepper at this point. Like I said, you don't want them getting too cooked. We're going to stir these in. The flavor of this is phenomenal. And it's such a great meal for a family. My kids actually still to this day asked me to fix this for them when they come out to visit. They absolutely adore it. So we're going to let this cook down just a little bit more. Let the onions and peppers get a little bit. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and add that kielbasa. Put it in this pot. Start cooking it down. A little at a time. Stirring a little as we go. Constantly keeping it stirred up now, because you don't want it getting burnt on the bottom. But now everything is starting to meld together, and within 10 minutes we'll be able to take it out and put it in a casserole dish. And then we'll do our cheese gravy. Hey, we have covered this up to get everything all cooked together. The steam actually does so much for the potatoes. It gives it a sweeter flavor in the onions and the peppers. So we're taking it off now. It's been cooking like this for probably, another 5 minutes, something like that. And it's time to put this over into a colander to drain that grease. We're going to get all of this transferred over to a colander, drain the grease, and then we will be back in just a few minutes to show you how to do the cheese gravy. We have got this drained. It's very hot. And we are dumping this into our prepared Pyrex dish. Just like that. Okay. Now, we're going to spoon this out. Next, I don't measure this. It's seasoned salt. You want to put a generous amount. Not overdo it, but just a layer on the top. It's good. I mean, I think we all know when to stop when it comes to, salting stuff. I'm going to mix this all up. Get that seasoned salt dispensed throughout. And then here's some crushed red pepper that I did last year. And I'm just going to shake a little over the top, just for a little something something. We like ours a little spicy. Kids like spicy. We all like spicy. And when we do that, mix it all up. It's all over, nice and dispensed, even. And now we're going to get to the cheese gravy. Let's go. We got 4 tablespoons of butter, unsalted. We're going to melt that down. Our butter's melted. I am now putting in a teaspoon of minced garlic. Stir this all together. Ooh, smells so nutty, buttery. Ooh, delicious. Next, a heaping tablespoon of self-rising flour. And we will stir this until it starts getting pasty. You see that? Break up the chunks. We don't need chunks in our gravy. Just like that. And we have this, once again, on a medium-high setting. Because you don't want to burn it. You don't want to cook it too fast. And if it starts getting, you know, bubbling too much and all that, turn it down a notch or two. But this right here for gravy is perfect. Now, I am going to go ahead and add 1 cup of milk. I'm going to stir this. Okay, now I'm going to drop in those cubes of Velveeta cheese like I talked about earlier. This is going to start melting quickly. So we're going to turn our setting down a couple of notches to about a medium. That's what you want it on. Until your cheese completely melts, because you don't want to burn your cheese. That'll ruin the whole dish. Alright, that's our first cup of milk. It's starting to melt down really good, but it's entirely too thick right now. So, we are adding 3/4 of a cup to this. We're turning our knob up just another notch. Not 7, not the medium high. Just, you know, right there in between medium high and medium. Until this starts incorporating, getting thick, yummy, delicious. We're almost there. Look how beautiful. There we have cheese gravy. Look how beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And this is enough to feed a family of 4. Not once, but twice. Okay. I've got my cheese gravy ready. We're fixing to pour this completely over everything. Like I've said numerous times, and my sister has too, we get all of it out because we don't believe in wasting, especially when we know that there's people all over the world that starve. So we appreciate what the Lord gives us, and we try to make the best of it. There we go. Cheese gravy. Now what we're going to do now is put some aluminum foil over this, cook it at 350 for 25 minutes, and one of the best meals you'll ever put in your mouth.